Who knows more? Well, my experience is that it is the grantee. They're the ones in the field. They're the ones doing the work. We are so privileged, those of us who work on this side, to be in the world of philanthropy. But for my money, I would always put it on the grantee. They're out there, they're doing it, they're living it.
One of the things I learned from my mom about relationships with grantees and applicants is that they're actually our teachers. So they are the experts in the field in which they work. And they are the ones that can inform us and teach us about how to be most impactful.
The nonprofit is the one that's every single day dealing with issues, whether it's hunger or homelessness or try to get people access to healthcare and providing preventive medicine.
I think that what we could do wrong with our partners, where we could go wrong, is by believing that we know better than they do how to do the work they're doing in the field, by making assumptions around what they need or don't need instead of just asking and listening.
We sometimes think that we have all the answers, that we're smarter than others, but that we're not. I mean, we may have money, but that doesn't make us smarter or wiser. It's the folks who are dealing with these very challenging and deep social issues on a daily basis. They're the ones who are really have the ear to the ground, who really are informed and very smart, can teach us how to do our job.
I think as an organization for the last 30 years, we've really prioritized learning from our partners. And when I use the word partners, I mean our grantees, who we consider as partners in this process of mutual learning, exchange, and development. And when I say we've been swimming in learning, it's because everything we do, from the way in which we mobilize resources to the ways in which we partner with our grassroots grantees, we are really invested in learning about their context, their real conditions, their realities, and also to learn how to be a better philanthropic partner to them in their journey.
If we are humble enough to realize that we don't have all the answers, that we need others to help us with some solutions, and if we can trust the people that we're talking to and trust our own ability, then we're going to, continue to respect one another, and all of that will mutually impact the outcomes.
I am committed to being a good steward of Need More's resources and funds, and we want to make sure that our money is invested in efforts and activities that are achieving some outcome or having some effect. But I once heard a quote, and it comes from a friend and colleague of mine, Garland Yates, and it just has always stuck with me and it resonates with me. And that quote was, "How dare we think that we in philanthropy care more about what the outcomes and effects are than those people who are actually out there working in the field? How dare we think that?"
I've been in grant making for 9 years and have learned a lot over those 9 years, and I think become a better grant maker over those 9 years. But I frequently think that there's a part of me that I always want to feel like a brand new grant maker. I want to have a part of me that always wants to feel like this is my first day and I'm just learning how to do this. And I don't know that much, and I need to listen, because I feel if you are a grant maker for a long period of time, it can be very easy for you to assume that you've got the answers and direct things when you don't realize that you're directing them, but not have the level of humility and quiet that you need to get the right kind of ideas from your grantees.
The advice that I give any funder is to listen to the voice of the end user. If we're funding around poverty issues in a particular neighborhood, really we know what that neighborhood needs when we hear from the residents. And so that applies to us as a foundation. If we really want to improve our impact, then we have to listen to our end user, which is the nonprofits that are seeking our help.
A conversation isn't dictating what you think needs to be done or has to be done or should be done. It's conversational. It flows, again, from having an authentic relationship with folks. Now, I know there are some who will say you could never have an authentic relationship with a grantee because it's just, against the rule of philanthropy physics or something. But I don't agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're all people who want to see positive change in the world. That's on both sides of the equation.
I think that in any process, when you know you're going to be working together for a while, it is truly important to listen to the other person and see what they have to say and pay attention so that you know, as best you can, if you are going to be compatible in those areas.
Every couples counselor will tell you to listen more actively to your partner, but if you listen and you don't act upon what their real needs and demands and requests are, then it's not a relationship that's gonna work. So yes, listening, learning, paying attention, attending to, sharing power and resources, it's all important. And then what, right? And then there's a then what? Then what do you do with it? How does that show up in the DNA of your organization? How does it show up in your practice? How do you embody that listening? So it's not just when there's a crisis, that it's happening all the time in many ways.
It's the work that's important. And I think that people in philanthropy, if you remember that the hero and the stars are the people you help and the people who are actually doing the work, and give them support and confidence and the resources needed, and it'll work wonderfully.
Sometimes it ends up being all about the funders when you're doing, certain learning tours or certain conferences or workshops. It ends up being about the funder, and that doesn't feel right to me. Like I said, we're fortunate. We get to support and fund the work, but they're the ones doing it, and I just never, ever forget that.
Well, I wish I had known from the very beginning that I don't have to be an expert about everything, that my job is to go out there and find out. But that would have been so easy. I hid in the beginning and I made preposterous statements thinking I'm supposed to act like I know. In fact, I can just go into a room and right away say, I'm afraid I don't know a whole lot about this. Tell me what you know. And that, to me, gave me the license to learn.
One of the things I learned early on is just how little I knew, and that really the grantees were my professors.